Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the weekly review. This is episode 2. We're going to be breaking down all the different movie news that came last week. We're also going to be talking about that New Orleans Saints season opener, but we're going to start off with the movie stuff. And also, just want to let you know, this will be a live video starting in a few months once I get a new setup. But as for now, we're just going to be recording and discussing. And so here we go. And topic number 1 is the new Knives Out movie was announced to be dropping on Netflix December 12th. Just so happens that this weekend, as of this recording, they are doing screeners for this new film because I think it's going to get a limited film release as well. So I've seen a few people that I follow online talking about having access to it and being able to see it in like a private screening. Hopefully they report back and say that it was good. I know that the Knives Out films are day one watches for me and my wife. We love the murder mystery genre. We feel like Knives Out is executed so well every time they do it. I do like the fact that they went in a different direction this time. I think it's going to be more gothic. I think it's all set in a church, have a much darker tone, maybe some, supernatural elements to it, even though it may not necessarily lean into those 100%, like they'll be there just due to the setting. So that's really cool to see. And again, the fact that it's always fresh and different, but you have one central character that keeps coming back, it's a nice formula that you can keep returning to each time you feel like you have a story that's good enough to tell. I feel like Netflix can continue to do these for as long as they want to do these. And I also feel like, in different discussions I've had with other people that really like The Residents, I feel like they can cancel The Residents, but they can bring back Cordelia Cup. It's something that I never thought about, taking that character and saying, hey, we enjoy the character. People enjoy the character. We can make this show again with a different, less expensive location and a smaller, less diverse cast and, just a cheaper set design. Just do everything we can to keep the budget down and we can bring that character back because people love that character. That would be great. That would be great if they decided to do that. But again, let me know your thoughts on Knives Out. It's a day one watch for us. What say you? The next topic that I felt was worthy of discussion was earlier in the week, they released the announcement via DC and James Gunn. They came out and said that the next Superman film will be Superman, Man of Tomorrow. He released the image with Superman and Lex. And a lot of attention went to talking about the comic book run versus the animated film that just recently came out in the last few years with Superman, Man of Tomorrow. And it's a lot of, excitement that we get another Superman movie already planned and da-da-da-da. And to be honest with you, I'm so sick of the James Gunn glaze that is going on right now. I don't really enjoy it. I feel like it's overdone. I do feel like this more recent Superman movie with David Cornsweet, good Superman, good movie, thought it was a good fun time. Let's just continue to enjoy all the other stuff that's coming out instead of looking toward the future with all this comic book stuff. I know that the comic book stuff generates a whole lot of discussion and it has a lot of people excited every time that something gets announced. But I feel like if we're talking about a genre of movies that don't really age well, I think comic book movies is the easy go-to. A lot of times when people see them, we enjoy that first look that we get. We've seen it in the theaters. It was a great experience and they had these nice moments. But when you go back and you review those movies and like you revisit them, they don't really hold up well because they aren't really the best pieces of cinema that we get. And so, yeah, we all really in love with James Gunn and the Superman topic right now. And let's just continue to enjoy it. Ride the wave while the wave is here. But let's not continue to look down the road so far and say, oh, we got another one coming in 2 years. It'll be this, it'll be that. And it's tiring, very, very tiring. If I'm being 100% honest, I feel like I would enjoy a Mr. Terrific announcement more than I would enjoy seeing anything or hearing anything about the new Superman. Like I would like more from Eddie Gatteki than I would seeing more David Cornsweet. And it's just me. But I feel like he was the best part of that movie. So give me Lantern, something that's already in production and coming. Give me the rest of season 2 of Peacemaker, which, I'm enjoying as it's coming out. And I rewatched Superman. I've already rewatched it once, really enjoyed it on the second time around. But it's like, we don't have to keep want more James Gunn, more James Gunn. Like we can diversify, we can, enjoy the Fantastic Four when that comes to digital and other projects from other studios. It don't always have to be the superhero stuff and it's like, more. Like, it was an annoying announcement in my opinion. But those are my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. And in the realm of movies, the most exciting thing that I experienced this week that just passed was the 28 years later Bone Temple trailer. I was very happy to get that trailer. Now, just a little backstory. My channel was kind of built on trailer reactions. I got my most views and my most subscribers when I could consistently do trailer reactions. But for some reason, YouTube decided, like, nah, you're not doing it anymore. You're not going to be monetized if you try to do those anymore. And so I lost my passion for doing it. I liked to do real reactions, not necessarily the overblown, like, making these faces for the thumbnails. I wanted to have a real genuine reaction every time I did it. And I enjoyed doing it, but they took that monetization away. So I no longer was invested. But after seeing this trailer, I was very excited to watch it. I wish it's one that I could have done a reaction for because I was like, yo, we got Jimmy. Yo, we get more Spike. We get everything that I wanted after watching the last 28 years later film or the last movie in the 28 Days Later franchise. It was great. It was a great movie at the beginning of the year. The Ralph Fiennes character, the doctor, it seems like we're not going to just get more of him. We're going to get backstory as to how he ends up in that situation. And I mentioned it before, but the Jimmy Savile character, we're going to get a lot of him and the setup that he runs and how did he come to be this way and what's the end game with his character. And we got Spike in that blonde wig, like he's a part of the crew now, but it doesn't look like things are going to go well for Spike, or at least it doesn't look like Spike enjoys the way they roll, and which makes perfect sense because these guys seem crazy. I was very excited to see that trailer. I think that's the most exciting thing that I saw this week. Just knowing that we got something coming so soon off the heels of something that was very good in less than a year, we'll be able to sit down and watch more of that story unfold. I'm very excited about that. I want to say I even think we caught a glimpse of Aaron Taylor Johnson returning. I didn't get into the research enough to see if he's going to be a part of the cast or if we're going to see that character again. But even if we saw more of him, that would even be cool as well. So big high hopes for the Bone Temple in the 28 Days Later franchise. Next film, I'm very excited to see it. I also heard rumor that Cillian Murphy is going to be involved in that. And what we saw, the character that we thought was Cillian Murphy in 28 Years Later is actually not Cillian Murphy at all. And he's alive. That character from the original film is alive, and you're going to see how he's lived in this world. And so, yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm really excited. And let me know your thoughts about the 28 Years Later. Did you like the trailer? Did you think it is going to answer all the questions that you have? And one real big question I have for audiences, if they choose to answer, is that with those last 2 minutes of the 28 Years Later film, seeing that this trailer is promising us more of those characters and more of that tone, does that satisfy you when it comes to how you feel about the 28 Years Later? Because there was a lot of people that I saw in different comment sections and in different videos talked about how the last 2 minutes of the film felt so off and it took them out. For me, it was fine because it was, I feel like, in line with the frantic camera movement and the chaotic pace of the original 28 Years Later, way back in the day, 28 Days Later, way back in the day. And so seeing it at the last 2 minutes of that film didn't bother me. And then also seeing this trailer and seeing how things unfolded, it's like, we're going to get some answers. I'm very cool with it. Let me know your thoughts on all those things if you choose to engage. And moving on to the last topic, which, I want to do a little Saints segment each week. Here is my Saints kind of, not really breakdown, but my thoughts on the game that was played with that season opener, Saints falling to the Cardinals. I think it was 20-13. I just have random thoughts, and here we go. First thought is that this team is still an undisciplined team, even with Dennis Allen gone, and that is a slight concern. Another thought is on Spencer Rattler as the QB. It's clear based on the coach's decision-making, Kellen Moore's decision-making, he doesn't 100% trust Spencer Rattler, and Spencer Rattler does not necessarily deserve 100% trust it's just kind of clear that he's not all the way the guy yet. Another thought is the observation that's really like an ongoing observation. I think the defense played pretty well today, but they still managed to struggle mightily with good tight ends and mobile quarterbacks. And it's been this way for years, even all the way back to the Sean Payton era. A quarterback with wheels gives our defenses hell. And it doesn't matter who's the coordinator, who's the coach, what's the scheme. None of it matters. If the QB can move, we're going to struggle. Along with having a good pass catching tight end. He's cooking safeties and he's cooking linebackers. And it's been that way for years. Kellen Moore as a coach, I'm kind of iffy. I feel like he has some questionable decision making. And as far as the offense is concerned, I feel like the offense was called great for one drive, the one touchdown drive. But outside of that, I don't feel like things were really called well on offense, at least. You got Spencer Rattler throwing the ball 46 times. That is not a success for winning with any quarterback on our roster. As a fan of the team, I would like to see more consistently successful running plays early in the game. But if you want a truly honest assessment of the team from me, here's what I can say. This is what you want to see from this team. You have a young team, relatively young core. You have a brand new coach. Whole coaching staff is brand new philosophies and new ideas being practiced and executed. So you're not going to win a whole bunch of games, but you are getting to assess what you have on your roster and where your holes are. So when we talk about quarterbacks, it's clear that Rattler is not the guy right now, but you continue to give him a chance and see if he can grow from week to week. And then at some point you pivot if you feel like you need to pivot. I don't think this was a great outing for Rattler, but it also wasn't terrible. You also, as a team, get to see where your holes are. And I think it's pretty clear that you still need more playmakers on offense and you still need more speed and range on defense. As a team, it's very encouraging, even though you lose, because you played incredibly competitively. When you look at it, you have an NFL team that was held to under 21 points. You held the team to less than 3 touchdowns. And what has been the problem with the New Orleans Saints since Drew Brees retired? You can never consistently score 21 to 28 points in a game. You can't score 3 touchdowns in a game for the last almost 5 years. And that is a problem. Looking at the team, the way it's constructed now with the offensive line play that you get, and the defenses that you have on the opposite side of the ball, I don't think that switching out quarterbacks at this point in the season is going to instantly generate you 21 to 24 points a game. But you can address some things. You can continue to try new things out, and eventually you'll get to a point where you know these are the areas we need to address, along with quarterback that can make this team a winning team once again. Those are my thoughts on the Saints. Let me know your thoughts on them if you have any concerns, comments, questions. I love to field them. And that's it for the weekly review. We're all done here. That's all I got. Enjoy yourself, guard your heart, and go watch something good.